Are you ready for what's next? No. Actually, are you ready for what's next? I know things might be hitting hard. You're crashing out. You're having those nights where you're just crying into the darkness for answers, for something. It's only a season, my friend. It's only a season. And I can say that. I've been there, man. I have been there. Losing everything. Losing relationship. My savings. My job. My car. My house. Pretty much my life. Like, what more was there? All at the same time. I'm not talking, at one point I lost this. I mean, I lost it back to back to back over the course of maybe 3 months. So yeah, I'm hitting that wall. It's a fun wall to hit, my friend. But your mindset's the most important thing. Have your moments, that's fine. You have your moments to cry or to express your anger. Sometimes blame yourself a bit. I mean, taking accountability and blaming yourself is very important in a lot of aspects in life. But when you're feeling that low, sometimes that can get into a really dangerous spiral. But learning to accept that and moving on to the next, and that slow rebuild. And trust me, every time you see a little bit of progress, it helps. It feels good. And every time you have a few steps that fall backwards, it hurts. You want to raise your hands, and I knew this was of no use. Blah, blah, blah. Don't get in that. Just keep going. Just keep going. Because less than a year ago, like I said, I lost everything. I didn't even have money to give my kids food. I had to sit on the kindness of strangers. Well, friends, I should say. Friends and family to help pay for some of those necessities. And I mean, now my businesses are so active. I have so much going on. I don't work for anybody anymore, which I think is the one thing that a lot of you young gentlemen in your 30s should really be focusing on. Getting your own wealth, bringing your own income. Not from a job in that sense, but finding some ways that actually produce money. And I'll have a lot of videos on that as well. But your mindset's very important. And yeah, in all my facets, I'm talking with multi-million-dollar investors to help fund billion-dollar projects. Chatting with large-scale clients to help build their franchises, work on their projects, helping raise money, raise capital. I went from nothing to now 6 and 7 figure and 8 figure flows of money. It's very different. Put yourself around those. You are the sum of your 5 people that you hang out with, whether they're your friends or colleagues, what have you. Start placing yourself into places, into the company of those who you feel are close to what you're trying to achieve. It doesn't mean be an ass and drop your friends, this and that. No. I mean, granted, sometimes the friends you hang out with are the ones that are holding you down. So be mindful of who you are spending your time with. But after my downfall, I realized you've had access to people and programs that cater to connecting the wealthy and working with the wealthy and creating wealth. This is all different things. I need to keep myself and put myself back into those presence of those people. Work with them. What are you doing to get your money? How are you affording that car? How are you living in that big house? How are you living in those 4 or 5 big houses? When I couldn't put food on my kids' table. I know you, but I'm not spending enough time connecting, learning, and growing. And not in the sense of to say, oh, mooch and smooch, use people. No, not in that sense. But in my business, I was still pushing to make a paycheck, thinking the side stuff with my business is just, not yet. It's not ready. It's not ready yet. It kept putting it aside until I needed to not put it aside and realize I had a vast network, a vast opportunity to grow myself and my business and put myself in a position that I'm in where 2026 I'll be looking at things I never thought I'd be looking at. Getting into places and doing things I never thought I'd do. I mean, I always thought I would do, but could never pull the trigger on when. And that's what I'm trying to let you know. I don't care how down you are. That's going to build you up. That's going to bring you to where you need to be. Sometimes you need to be broken to get built. Sometimes you get to get those new habits when you're down to push you to the next level. Don't waste that time. Use that energy. Use that hurt. Use that heartbreak. Use that hit to fuel you. Oh, but I broke up with so-and-so and it hurts and blah, blah, blah. I've been sad for 3-4 months on it. You've wasted months doing nothing. You've wasted months over a person. Oh, things weren't fair to me and my boss didn't like me and that's why they fired me and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, well, maybe you need them. Maybe you became so dependent that you now had a dependency with that job, even though you hated it every day. You dreaded going in. You chirped how management was. You complained Monday morning going in. Yet you complain when you leave, or when you're forced to leave, when you're no longer set to be there. Why is that? There are dependency issues in relationships. And those relationships don't have to be romantic. They can literally be within the job. Now, I understand sometimes you have to work to pay the bills, put food on the table, etc. But are you taking action to learn something, build yourself up, learn a course, learn a new skill to find a better job, a better position, to build your own thing? Are you doing that? Or when you go home, are you just watching Netflix, scrolling on Instagram, or TikTok or whatever happens to be the app of choice for that dopamine hit. And you do so much of that, then when you finally do decide to do something like take a course, build yourself up, find a new path in your life, build that business, build that website, but then you only spend a few minutes on it and then you quit. Maybe not quit, find something else to do, because your mind has gotten so used to the scroll, instant gratification. If I do this now, I get this. I watch this 30-second video, I get a nice dopamine hit. I watch this movie, I feel calm and soothed for this moment in time. I swipe left, I swipe right, I get instant communication, instant contact with said person. Our world is very different now. So sometimes building up these things for ourselves is actually harder than it used to be back in the day. Actually more difficult, but only mentally. We're in a world where building a business, growing your network, learning skills, building skills, communicating, learning things for free is the easiest and most accessible it's ever been in the history of this planet. Are you hearing me? It is the easiest, most accessible, most affordable to learn a new skill, to communicate, to connect with others, to research now than it's ever been in the history of the planet. But it's harder mentally for many people to capitalize on it, to understand it, to focus. Our focus now is like an instant. We're on something, and if something's not triggering right away, it's easy to fall out of it. It's easy to get complacent. It's easy to forget what you just read or you just listened to, you just saw. Like, even the world of movies are making movies differently now because of people's attention span. Movies in the 80s and the 90s were built a certain way that formally doesn't work the same in today's movies because they need to over-explain, change camera angles, use a lot more exposition repeatedly because they're aware that most people now aren't watching the theaters for that downtime. They're watching in their homes while they're on their phone, while it's in the background while they work, and they want people to understand the movie. I know, again, wasting time watching movies is a whole other thing in general, but just know that the industry itself understands human nature in today's instant gratification world, tells you a lot about where we're at as a people and as society. So don't let that get you down. Don't let that discourage you, though. Knowledge is power. Now that you know, so that's that time to focus. Set that time where you put your phone down and say, you know what, I'm gonna go touch my phone between this and this. Put on do not disturb. Let your significant other or your friends know, hey, you know what, I'll be busy between this time. If you message me, I'll get back to you after I'm done. You know, it's okay to start putting in your own segments to move forward, to better yourself. And don't be afraid to better yourself. People now are like, I don't want to waste the time doing that. Or, I mean, even going back to school, like, actual school, which is a whole other thing. But it'll take me 3 years to finish that course, right? Or if it's a other course or you're taking it part-time, it'll take me 4 years, it'll take me 2 years to do that, or get that license, or get that certification, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so what does that mean? Because 4 years is coming regardless. Whether you take that course or not, whether you invest into that learning or not, 4 years is coming. 1 year is coming. However long it takes, it's still coming. Right now it's 2026. And if you told me, oh, I want to get the certification while I work full time, it'll take me 4 years. Okay, so you'll get that certification by 2030. It seems like a long way away. You almost don't want to invest in it because that gratification is so far off. But look at it this way. Let's say you don't invest in it. Let's say you don't take out that time, or those 5 hours to 10 hours a week part-time, studying and learning. 2030 is still coming. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. And when that 2030 comes and you're sitting there in the same place you just were and said, man, if I took that course back in 2026, I'd have a certification in this now, or a degree in this, or I would have had, 4 years of building that business, or I would have had a year of learning how to do this, and then 3 years of putting it to practice. A lot of things now are less than a year away. A lot of certifications, a lot of learning, a lot of courses are less than a year of achieving that goal. You could have had 3 years of experience under your belt instead of where you are right now. This is talking to the 2030 version of you. So think about right now, 2026. We went through a bit of a shutdown in 2020. A lot of people are doing things online in that time. A lot of people. That one thing that you thought about taking online in 2021 maybe, or that one career shift you thought about getting into in 2021 when things had changed. Did you take it? Did you jump on an opportunity? If not, where would you be right now today if you had? Even if you had and failed, where would you be today? Because what opportunities would have arose during that time? What changes in your mindset would have happened in that time? The people you would have met, places you would have gone. There are so many things in my life that I've taken the dive on to go try it out, to do this new thing. And that thing didn't work out. Not the way I planned. But because of that thing, there's a chain of events and people I have met that brought me to other places where I am today. There's actually groups that I work with in my business. There's a particular group which, we make a lot of money. There's a lot of money with this group that I work with. But I met that group through another firm that I had reached out to that they couldn't help, but they said these guys here might be able to do a few things. Talk to them. I would never come across this path in any other method. And I talked to that original firm because of the type of firm they were. Someone else that I had met before had told me of what type of firm to look for. And that person I connected with because I was looking for funding for another client on a high value project, and I didn't have the resources where I was. Now that client never actually got funded. We're actually it's funny, we're like best friends today. That same client, I failed him, if you think about it, getting him the funding for his project. He's now a writer, actually. That project that he wanted to do, he put a lot of his heart and sweat into figuring it all out and getting it done. He now writes. He now writes novels, and he loves it. He's the happiest he's ever been. He's like, this is where I should have been my whole life. I love that I do this now. But because of him, I've connected through different paths and found other people that I would never have met in this way. And now I'm able to have my business thrive. And then who they've met, because of what they required, I now have other methods I can bring to other people that I've worked with. And now they're thriving in a whole another method. So was that a failure then? No, it wasn't a failure. It's just part of what happened at that time, at that moment, at that chapter, at that phase. And it works out. It all worked out. And I probably wouldn't have jumped back onto this bandwagon so big and so heavy if I still was working for somebody else, if I still had a full-time job, if I was still in a relationship, if I still had enough money to, like, you know, I'll chill for now. No, I had to lose everything to be where I am today. And mindset is the most important thing. And then when I say mindset, I'm not saying, oh, think positively, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's all that woo-woo. That's not what I'm talking about that. It's, where's your mind at when things happen? All right? So something negative happens, or something that you don't wish to happen happens, whether it's in your job or your career or what have you. And you're like, you know what? You could be like, oh, this always happens to me, or oh, I have the worst luck, or blah, 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 right? Just being down. Or it's like, oh, shoot. All right, this happened. I need to call the audible. All right, how do I flip this? Or this is going to hurt for a bit, but hopefully on the other end, I can, you know, get something else out of it. Not being fake and saying, oh, this is probably a good thing. No. Sometimes things suck. It's a bad thing that happened. Like, oh, that's horrible. But I hope I can build something positive out of this horrible event. Or I hope I can learn something about this through this horrible event to get to where I need to be. You know? Mindset's not about being fake. Mindset's about getting back up when you fall and knowing that, hey, I'll keep getting up or keep moving or use this to my advantage. To make things better, you know? Just like in fighting tactics, someone's swinging at you, you can try and block that punch, and it's gonna hurt. Kind of sucks. You're also gonna toughen your arm up for the next time. But instead of blocking it, you could take that negative energy or whatever, that punch coming at you, use his weight against him and just swing him past. Right? Using the full force of that negative thing coming at you, using to your advantage to win the battle, to move on. It's a bad analogy, but you get what I'm trying to say. It's not about being fake and just thinking overly positive and woo. It's about taking advantage of bad situations and pushing into it. All right, I had a bad situation where I couldn't fund it from the client. I look back at it now, I would feel bad like I couldn't get your project up and running. I don't know why. Just, so many variables that didn't work in his favor. But look how both of us are now much happier because of how that went and who we know. I mean, one time I didn't want to go to the gym. I just didn't want to go. I'm like, I'm not going today. Just not feeling it, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going. I got things to do. I did have things to do. But those things could have been done that evening. I could have waited. They weren't urgent. They could have been done in that day before bedtime still. I just said, I'm not going to go to the gym. But I went. The one day I didn't want to really go, I went. Connected with other people. A business opportunity showed up. Social media opportunity showed up. With someone who just happened to see my tripod. We got talking. Things started to move because I didn't want to go to the gym. And I said, just go to the gym. I'm not going to like it today. That's fine. Let's go. Keep that habit. Habits breed habits. I'll get into that in another video, but this was getting kind of long and I've already parked. But stay strong, young man. Keep going. Things are going to hurt, but it's only temporary. It's only temporary. Just keep moving on and good things will come if you keep pursuing. That's all I can say. All right. Have a good one.